So we're going to have a look at this first one called finding facts. So when we talk about finding facts, we're talking about particular parts that we're looking for. Who did this in the pasuk? To whom? Are they saying it? Who's talking? To whom are they speaking? What are they saying? When was this being said? Where was it said? Why? We're going to be working on this template. I'm going to show you a way to get students to find information. So what I want you to do is, you see this little template, this is how it works. In the first column, right in here, it says pasuk first half, second half. Of course, first half and second half of the pasuk. How do I know what's the first half and the second half? What am I looking for? The asnachta. Our students, according to the standards from grade 1, they should already know that they're looking for an asnachta to divide a pasuk in half, because it's two separate ideas. Vayeira elav Hashem eloni mamrei. That's saying what? Hashem is appearing to Avram. Who's the subject of that? Who's the subject of the first half of the pasuk? Who's doing the action? Hashem. Hashem is appearing to Avram. Then the second half of the pasuk says, "Well, who yashev Pesach el kachayim hayom." Who's the subject? Avram. Two different subjects, two complete sentences, two completely different things. One is what Hashem did, one is what Avram did. And you will find that in every single pasuk, when you divide it in half, those are the kind of things you're going to find. Either two different subjects, sometimes it's cause and effect, sometimes it's what they did and why. And you can start asking your students, once you map things like that, you can start asking those sort of questions. What is the first half doing? What's the second half doing? Who's the first half talking about? Who's the second half talking about? Can you map it? Is there cause and effect here? Is the first half the cause, the second half the effect? Is the first half the effect, what might happen, and the second reason why it would happen? Is there a pen going on? Things like that. That's what you'd see, and that's why it's so important. And that's why we start teaching it from grade 1. So what you need to do is as follows. You need to look at those pesukim, and you need to put the parts of the pasuk that belong in each box. Beware that you are not necessarily going to be filling in each box for each pasuk. Only the word and only the words exactly as they appear in the pasuk are to go into this box. Let's see what actually happens. Who?
Hashem.
All right, so who was Hashem? To whom?
Avram.
Did it say Avram in the pasuk? No. Okay, we said you're not allowed to write anything unless it says it in the pasuk. Now, when we say Avram, why did you say Avram? Because we're sitting here and we've learned Chumash, and we know this is the beginning of Parshas Vayeira, and we already know the story. Now, what word in the pasuk says to whom? Elav, and it's a pronoun. We don't know to whom. There's nothing in that pasuk that tells me to whom. Okay, what? Vayeira. And then, do I have a when? No, it's blank. Do I have a where? Velone mamre. Why? I have no idea. Go to the second half of the pasuk. It says, "V'hu yoshev Pesach el kachayim hayom." So is there a who? The who is the word who. I put the pronoun in, who. What? Yoshev. There is no to whom, because it's not no one's giving anything and no one's saying anything in the second pasuk. There's just a what, which is Yoshev. When? Kachayim hayom. Where? Pesach el. Why? Don't know. Okay. So I have now things that I don't know. I have an elav, I don't know. I have a who, I'm not sure who it is. And I have a why, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what the why is. So if I was doing this in class, when would I do this specifically? When I really want them to understand that when we learn a Rashi, it's not just adding information for us. Rashi is there to answer questions, to help us understand the pshat. This Rashi, Vayeira elav, Levaker esachaylo, what is Rashi telling us? Why? So now what can we do? I can get my students to go back to that sheet. Under why, I can write Levaker esachaylo in brackets with the word Rashi underneath it. So I know it, but it's not from the pasuk. Rashi told me why. Okay, so that's that first. Pasuk number 2, you mapped. Again, we have, this time, there's a lot more happening, even up until the asnachta. So we have Vayisa ina vayar, v'hine shosha anashim nitzavim alav. So, who? Okay, so if you're going to write Vayisa, if you're going to say that's who, you write the word Vayisa, but you can't just write Vayisa, because Vayisa is what he did. I would have the word Vayisa in there and circle the yud. Because it's not the word Vayisa that's telling me who, it's the fact that there's a yud here that says he lifted. And this he is my subject. I don't know who the he is yet. To whom? There's no issue here of to whom. We're not giving, we're not talking. And what is the what? Vayisa? Einav Vayar is what? So this Vayisa Einav Vayar is all part of what? What did he do? He saw, he lifted his eyes and he saw. And even more, what did he see? Continue. Okay? Now, a person could argue that this whole thing is what he did. This is what he did, and this is what he saw. But other people could argue he saw 3 people, and where did he see them? Nitzavim alav, standing over him. Now, when students start doing this, the conversations we want to have in class are conversations that's showing us their thinking. So they don't all have to have one answer that's right. Maybe there's 2 right answers. As long as they can defend it and tell me why they did it, it's a correct answer. The point is we get thinking happening. Now let's look at the second half of the pasuk. In the second half, the who, there's no who clearly in there. We only have pronouns in Vayar again and Vayarat. So the who is just in the pronoun yud. To whom? No, here there is a to whom. Likras some. And where is the to whom? Right? Likras some, it's the toward them. Right? It's the them. That's to whom. What? Vayar, Vayar, it's Vayishtachu. Where? For every verb, I could have a where. So there's Vayar, Vayar, be Pesach Ha'el. That's really from where. And where to Vayishtachu, where? Arza. Arza is a place, toward the ground. Now, going back here, look at what you've written. Is there anything a bit odd that needs some explanation? First half and second half of the puzzle, we say they're 2 different things. What is actually exactly the same? What's Vayar, Vayar? Why do I have it twice in the same pasuk? He lifted his eyes, he saw there were 3 people, and he saw and he ran. I know that already. I just said it. Torah doesn't say things twice. Now we know. We have to notice anomalies. We have to notice deviations. We have to notice things that are a bit strange. Why do we have a double lashon? So I'm not going to just tell the students there's a double lashon. We let them figure it out. By doing that, you figure it out. You see in front of these, Vayar, Vayar. And it's in the same pasuk. So let's have a look. Rashi. What does Rashi say? Mahu Vayar, Vayar. Rashi says, what is this Vayar, Vayar? Shnei Pamim, why? Harishan Kamashma. So here Rashi's talking about one of our other standards. First one is literal, it's exactly as it sounds. If I say Vayar, I think he saw. With my eyes, I literally see something. I have vision. But the second time is more, I see. He understood something. So the first time he lifts his eye, he sees 3 people. But then he understands something about these 3 people, and so he runs to meet them. And this is exactly what Rashi says. The Hasheni is L'shan Havana. He understands something. What does he understand? He sees, he sees 3 people there, but they're standing. They're not coming toward him. They're standing still. He thinks to himself, oh, they don't want to come here. They don't want to bother me. Well, then I better go run toward them. And so he goes. How much more meaning does this Rashi have now that we discover that there was a double lashon on our own? Right? Rashi's not just feeding me information. He's helping me understand something. Okay? Now, another way that we can do a finding fact that's fun, and this you have in your appendices, you have a bunch of these squares. It says A, Lemi, Efa, Masa. You'll see this in your appendices. The idea of these little boxes are you can buy a little foam die in the teacher supply stores, or make one out of cardboard. 6 sides. You have 6 boxes. You cut these out. You can stick it on the die. Then you throw it. And it's the same sort of thing. You want to review the question. Sometimes you want to do something like this, something when they're younger. I wouldn't really use a finding fact like this until about 3rd grade. Beneath 3rd grade, we still want to get finding facts. Let them look inside and find information for me. This is a very fun way to do it. We take these little boxes, we stick them on the die, we throw it. It says, find 3 new facts. Find Lemi, tell me to who. To whom is this? What is happening in the pasuk, or whatever it might be. So again, it's about throwing it, getting a question, and then choosing someone to answer that question. Okay? They see it as a game, but it's finding facts.